Red Bull's pretty much dominating the F1 scene at the moment, and I guess we all owe it to the one and only Max Verstappen. But who is that guy really? Well, don't worry, I've got all the answers for you. Here's a rundown of the amazing life of the F1 race car driver, starting with his background. From the looks of it, the Red Bull driver was born to be successful.
On the inside, this time is just hanging back a little bit. And is the patience gonna pay off here? Because Verstappen has got DRS down the main straight. Charles Leclerc can't cover him off. Verstappen takes...
I mean, what else would you expect from a person coming from a family filled with racers? Yup, some of you might know that his father, Jos Verstappen, actually used to be a Formula 1 driver. Now, that's really cool, isn't it? But hey, did you know that his mother, Sophie, also had a pretty successful karting career? So, yep, with such a background, his future goals seem pretty clear now. And well, it also makes sense that he hit the tracks pretty early on. You see, the world welcomed Verstappen in 1997, and he was off karting regularly by 2003. Karting was probably going really well for him as he found love for the sport, and things started getting pretty serious. Yep, that's right. In 2005, he took part in his first ever championship. Yes, and the Belgium Championship Mini didn't know what hit it. The young 7-year-old won all 21 races. Can you even imagine that? With this victory in hand, the young champ decided that it was time to conquer everything that the sport had to offer. And guess what? That's exactly what he did. In 2013, he managed to get a World KZ Championship title under his belt. Well, the rest is history. Verstappen went on to make his single-seater debut in the Florida Winter Series. Of course, his performance there was enough to tell everyone that this young racer was destined for greatness. He got recruited by Van Amersfoort, following which he took part in the FIA Formula 3 European Championship. And can you guess how he fared on there? Well, keep in mind, Max was just 16 years old at this point, so he managed to win his 6th race of the series. And that's not all. He also got 6 consecutive victories in the series. This ended up placing him 3rd in the overall rankings. And after this, it was time to dominate F1.
Some overtakes him a long way back. Look at the bouncing on the Ferrari. The Red Bull's coming at him. Verstappen goes round the outside into the chicane, stays on the track. Max Verstappen takes the lead at the sprint hit.
He first joined Scuderia Toro Rosso in 2015, and even though it was just his debut season, he managed to get a hold of 49 points. Now that's exceptional. We've seen racers be in the sport for so long and still not score that well. And it's obvious that Red Bull picked on that since in 2016, he got picked up by Red Bull to join them. That's when he raced alongside Daniel Ricciardo, and their wholesome friendship was born. Max's first season with the team was amazing, and he managed to rank as the 5th overall in the 2016 World Championship.
Toro Rosso, 7 days later, he's up at Red Bull, and he is now a race winner as well.
It's incredible.
And well, his rankings only improved from then on. At the moment, he holds 2 back-to-back world champion titles. That's awesome in my opinion.
He collects the winner's trophy then for the 12th time. A 32nd career win then for Max Verstappen. Same as Fernando Alonso. A 2nd world title for Max Verstappen.
And get this, if things continue to work out for him, we might just see him win more of those titles in the future. Being a Formula 1 driver with such consistent appearances on the podium means that he must have been able to gather quite a lot of money for himself. Yep, that's right. At the moment, his net worth is $250 million. And do you know what this makes him? The highest paid driver in the sport. But of course, not all of his fortune has been earned solely from his showdowns on the tracks.
Aaron has taken the lead. DRS helping out the Red Bull. Extra pace helping out the Red Bull. The leaders swap round on lap 9 here. And Max Verstappen wins in my...
Nope, it's all a mix of money from his contracts, brand endorsements, sponsorships, bonuses, and of course, how can I forget, prize winnings. Now, I'm guessing the last 2 of these things make pretty frequent appearances in the champ's bank account. He recently re-signed his contract with Red Bull, which binds him to the team for another 5 years.
Max Verstappen now has a nice gap opening on the inside coming out of turn 1, and Verstappen is back ahead of Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen comes home to win.
And of course, the contract came with a hefty sum, a total of $53 million per season. Now, considering that it lasts till 2028, it's safe to assume that his net worth will soon be seeing a rise. But what about his sponsorship deals? He's bound to earn a lot of money from them as well, isn't he? Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad you asked. At the moment, he's got a rapidly growing list of international brands and sponsorships that are all too happy to have him associated with them. And well, that makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, who wouldn't? He's got deals with big brands such as Red Bull, obviously along with Jumbo, G-Star Clothing, Ziggo TV, and lastly, Viaplay. Now, this seems like a whole lot of money, and it's making me wonder, how does he even manage to spend it? Well, from the looks of it, Max is a real estate man. He's never shied away from spending big bucks on property. In fact, did you know his main residence in the highly exclusive enclave of Monaco is actually a penthouse worth $16 million? And that's not all. Seems like he's also a huge fan of fancy cars. Yup, Max owns quite the collection. He's got all the big companies: Aston Martin, Ferrari, Porsche, Renault, and yes, even a Mercedes-Benz. Oh well, he might not be a fan of the competition, but he's definitely a fan of their product. And get this, he's also a proud owner of a 120-foot-long super yacht that is valued at $6 million. Now that's enough of road and water travel. Did you think I forgot about air travel? Not at all, and neither did Max. Did you know that he actually owns a $14 million private jet? Interestingly, he bought that from the British entrepreneur Richard Branson. Well, seems like the young racer has grown to be a man of taste, and the specifications in his house are proof of that. Before we get into this, let me tell you something super interesting. Did you know that both Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, the biggest rivals in the world of F1 at the moment, actually live close by? Yep, they both live in the Fontvieille district in Monaco. Isn't that something? Verstappen isn't that open about his lifestyle, but he does love to flaunt his purpose-built indoor gym. And from the photos he shared, it's obvious that he also has some pretty amazing views of the Mediterranean. Of course, with such an amazing lifestyle, it's always good to have someone you can share it with. Max often shares pictures of his family where everyone seems to be having a great time. But there's one person in those pictures who catches everyone's eye, including Max's. I bet you've already guessed who I'm talking about. Yep, it's Kelly Piquet, the racer's ultra-supportive girlfriend. And did you know that she's not entirely new to the entire F1 scene? Nope. In fact, her father is Nelson Piquet, who also happens to be a three-time F1 champion. Kelly is always there to support her boo, no matter the event. And often, she even brings along her young daughter, Penelope, whom she had with another F1 driver, Daniil Kvyat. The two make such an adorable couple, and the bond they share is extremely wholesome. She's actually opened up about their relationship on different occasions, telling everyone that she gets worried about Max because F1 can be super dangerous. Well, same Kelly, same. Anyway, it's gonna be fun seeing how Max's career works out in the future. It might be a bit early to say this, but chances are that he could go down as one of the greatest drivers of all time in the sport. And with that being said, that's all for Red Bull superstar driver Max Verstappen. See you in the next video.